What is up, everybody? It's good to be back after a little vacation last week. And we have a very special guest with us. We have a future Brahma, or current Brahma now, but soon to be on the field Brahma, Blaine Hoover joining us.
Blaine
And
Hoover, welcome to the show.
welcome
How you
to
doing,
the
sir?
show.
Thanks y'all for having me. Thank y'all so much for having me. It's a great opportunity.
How you
So,
doing? How you doing right now?
Man, I'm feeling good. Feeling great. Just excited, man. Excited to get up there. Excited to get to work.
That's what's up.
Excellent. We are super excited to have you here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you also play for University of Incarnate Word?
Yes, I did. I played for Incarnate Word in 2020 and 2021, so I'm super familiar with San Antonio.
So
Local
there's a
boy at this
hometown
point.
connection, a hometown kid. Let's go.
Finally. We've been
Well,
waiting.
Before we dive too much into the questions and everything like that, Jorge has started us, the Mariachi Brahma, has started us on a little, ASMR tradition here that we usually like to partake in. Jorge, would you like to lead the charge?
absolutely.
Lead the
So,
charge.
for everybody, this is my last one for, until they release it again. So, Alamo, please help me out here. But 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday.
Ein Prost.
Wait, Blaine, do you know who the Mariachi Brahma is?
I do not.
Oh man, you're gonna
That's
learn
fine.
today.
That's
You gonna learn
He
today.
when you said it, I was like, hold on. Do you know who that is? He don't even know.
So,
We gotta get him tapped in, man.
so I know you play defensive end, and I believe if I remember correctly, the XFL has you uh, pegged for offense. Am I accurate with that?
Yes, sir. It is. I played defense in college, and then post college, I've converted to offensive tackle.
Right or left?
I can play both. Primarily, I've been working on left, but for right now, I can play either side. So more of as like what a team needs me as, what the Brahmas need me as. If they need me at left, then I'm more suitable to play at left. If they need me at right, then I can play right.
Well, that definitely warms our hearts to hear that. As I'm sure you're probably aware, we did have some struggles with the offensive line last season with a lot of players getting hurt and going down and just almost a revolving door, if you will. And so we need some strong, solid young men to hold that line so our quarterbacks have a little bit more time, actually get some of those passes out. So we're counting on you. That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
You're probably going to be jumping around left and right all season long.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: which one did you prefer? Which one do you prefer?
I think naturally I'm supernatural at left, which is good.
No, I'm talking about
which is
defense
obviously-
or offense.
Honestly, I used to have a preference. I used to be like, like I'm a defensive end. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just a football player. Like,
That's true.
I started out my career in college as a tight end. Then I ended up transferring. I was at 2 junior colleges, so I ended up transferring to a second junior college. And I went from tight end to D end. And then now I'm going from D end to offensive tackle. So honestly, I think it's just more of like, I just like being on the field. I like playing. So for me, it's just like, I really don't have a preference. As long as I'm on the field playing, I enjoy the game of football. I really do.
Now, that's a football
So
player.
you're
right
a
there.
trench athlete.
Yeah, I'm
You're a trench athlete.
For sure.
Excellent. Well, so you heard a little bit about Jorge and the Mariachi Brahma, but to elaborate the story a little bit more, Jorge has kind of become our unofficial mascot, if you will. He's the guy who's in the stands with the
They
sombrero.
asking for commercials, sir. Come on.
For me?
No,
for
Jorge.
him.
He about to be on the news.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I mean, wasn't he in a mural? Yeah, in the mural.
Yes, on a mural downtown.
He's on a mural. He's in all
this
the
guy
ads.
is a celebrity.
He's the guy in the sombrero with the full-on suit in the stands cheering the Brahmas on. Okay. Get used to that because you're going to see him leading charges, cheering you guys on as well. And
Section 108.
as yeah, Section 108 is going to be one of the happening places. You're not going to want to go anywhere near Section 134 if you're the opposing team. That is, like, you guys can come over and visit us in 134 because, as you saw on some of the intro, right? I'm SAJ. My whole thing is getting into the other team's head and just pissing them off and ruining their game plan so they mess up out on the field. So if you were playing defense, you would love me because I would be loud and I would be in the other team's head. When you're on the field now as an offensive tackle, you're not going to hear me because I know how to behave when our home offense is on the field. But we're still going to be there cheering you on either way. So it's going to be some really, really fun, exciting times. But let me ask you this. Yes. Now that you are part of the San Antonio Brahmas, what is your excitement level getting to play for someone like Hines Ward?
I'm super excited, and an opportunity like that is always super dope. Somebody that's been able to play at a high level and then be so successful like him. So, like, it's just really a great opportunity. And knowing he has so many connections through the league and he knows so many people through the league, I'm really excited to, like, get down there, pick his brain, especially as an offensive player, and just see how, he approaches the game. Because, when people are successful like that at a high level, like, I tend to like gravitate towards people like that because that's obviously something that I have aspirations to do is play at a high level for a long time. And so I'm just really excited to get around him, pick his brain, see how he approaches situations, see how he approaches the game. And I think it's just going to be a great opportunity. I think he can really take this team all the way to the top, like with all his experience, with all his accolades and everything that he has and he brings to the table and, the staff that he's going to bring to the table. I think that he's really going to put something great together and that it's going to be a really special season this year.
Yeah, and one of the things, I mean, we've gotten a season to get to know Coach, and we've gotten to know Coach personally through other events and stuff like that. And one of the things that you can expect him to kind of preach to you guys as players is going to be breaking those playground habits, that playground behavior to take you to the next level. So showing up to meetings on times, just being mature in the locker room, and just having that leadership role. That's what he's really looking for in players. And like I said, breaking those playground habits. So be prepared to hear a lot of that, as the season progresses. And definitely, he's looking for those leaders. And if you can be a leader on the offense or defensive line, and be a voice that people listen to, he's going to take you under his wing and just, help push you to the next level. Because hopefully, you're starting here talking to us now, and it come next a year from now, you're like, actually, you have to go through my agent because I'm signed with an NFL team. That's what we want to kind of hear from you, because we've gotten that from a couple of players from past season where we were going to have them on the show and they're like, actually,
Yeah.
I'm under NFL rules now, so we're hoping the same for you.
Yep,
absolutely.
Make sure you sign with this team that's behind me.
God.
I would absolutely love that.
Stop it.
Who is that behind you?
That's the Green Bay Packers, baby.
Oh yeah, the Green Bay
Packers.
Green Bay.
Since '82, man.
Ew.
Oh man.
Well, let me ask you, Blaine, did you happen to catch any of the games this past season?
I wasn't able to catch any of the games this past season just because I was so locked in on training for my pro day and getting ready for that. I kind of like went ghost for a little bit. Was like deleting all social media, like stayed off the net. So like I wasn't on YouTube or anything. So I wasn't able to catch any of the games last season. But I did have an older teammate that I played with previously in junior college who plays for the Brahmas, is one of the twins. So
Wow.
Mike.
yeah,
Mike?
yeah, Mike. I played with Mike, and then I know Delonte, because that's his twin and stuff. So I was able to chop it up with him, before I ended up getting signed with the Brahmas and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a great opportunity. Like football world is pretty small, so it's pretty cool though. But no, I wasn't able to catch any of the games. I wish I was.
Well, I know Mike already said he's hungry to come back, and I believe Delonte he got signed by a team. but I don't know if Mike did or not. But I know he said he's hungry to come back to the Brahmas for round 2. So yeah, he already got a buddy on the team, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So,
Um,
tell us about your journey from getting to the XFL to now. Like, how did you the
Yes.
process?
Yeah. My journey's been absolutely crazy. So, just from college, finished up my grad year at Tarleton State, and we had a guy by the name of Hal Mummy
Yep.
come through. It was I want to say like 3 or 4 games before our final game, and he invited a bowl game in Mexico, the Azteca Bowl,
Mhm.
and then so from there we went out to the bowl game and. It was in Mexico City. We were having traveling issues, so we were short on O linemen. So I initially went down there as a defensive lineman, and then he comes to me like one of the first day of walkthrough, and he's like, "Hey, like you look like an offensive tackle. Like, would you be interested in playing offensive tackle?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not playing offensive tackle. I'm a defensive player. Yada yada yada." And he's like, "Okay, well, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind." I was like, "All right." And then so moving forward, we it gets later in the week and we're still having, like travel issues between passports and guys not being able to make it. And, he comes to me, he's like, like, would you do it? I'm like, like at the end of the day, I just want to win. So wherever you put me at, I'll play. So yeah, I'll play offensive tackle. Never have had a snap at offensive tackle ever played. No, nothing, just from what I've seen and what I went against. And so we get to the game, and I ended up having to start, or not, what? Yeah, I ended up having to start at left tackle, and I actually had a great game. Didn't give up a sack, didn't give up a pressure. And he comes to me after the game, and he's like, if you want to take this serious and you want to have a long career, I think you're an NFL left tackle. And I was like, you honestly think that? He's like, well, I've been doing this for 30 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, all right, cool, that's dope. And so that's when my journey at offensive tackle started. And so that's when I started training at offensive tackle. I was going up to Dallas training with a guy named Daryl Williams. Played like 7 years in the league. So I was training with him. Then I came back, and then through the week I would do like strength conditioning and like testing, for the pro day and stuff. And that's kind of how my journey started at offensive tackle. And so I ended up doing camp with the 49ers. And then before they called me, I asked them, I'm like, hey, what are y'all bringing me up there as? And they told me on the phone, offensive tackle. And I'm like, cool. Like, that's perfect. Like, I'm going up there. And I do it. I get up there and I get in meetings and I get in the offensive meeting room and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing? What do you mean what am I doing here? Like, I'm here. And they're like, I think they have you down for defensive tackle.
Defensive end. Oh, see?
Yeah, so it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just trained offensive tackle for the last 6-7 months. And I'm like, I get up there and y'all are trying, so I was like, oh dang. And then so that happens, and I get the assistant general manager's office, and he was like, I know we told you we bring you up as offensive tackle. Will you do this practice as a defensive tackle? I was like, all right, like cool, whatever.
Hey, you're an athlete, man.
Yeah, so I ended up doing the practice. I ended up doing the camp as a defensive tackle, and that happens. We had great talks after. They had wanted to bring me back for a private workout at offensive tackle. Just haven't had it yet. And then so that happens, and so I was kind of, I wasn't anticipating or wasn't just going to wait around for, the call back for the private workout. And so I ended up going to a showcase in the Houston showcase. And like immediately right after the showcase, they invited me to the combine, went to the combine, killed the combine. And then it was like Wednesday when they were claiming the rights, I was just in the kitchen, cooking eggs. I get a phone call, from an Atlanta number, and it's Hines Ward, telling me they're claiming my rights. Man. And so it's pretty dope. But it's been a crazy journey, but honestly, it's been so dope, and like I wouldn't change it for anything, So it's been awesome though, and it's been a roller coaster, but it's been fun, and I'm finally glad that I'm on a team and I'm able to, be a part of a great organization, a great head coach, and be a Brahma. So it's really a blessing at the end of the day.
Heck yeah, I bet those are the best eggs ever too, right?
Oh yeah, those egg steaks are so good after.
Now with that being said, now that you're a Brahma, there's something that I want to invite you to do because all the glory. I used to play offensive line. All the glory always goes to them skinny guys who score the touchdowns. Nah, we need to give the glory to the big men in the trenches, right? So when you guys score, I'm in the section right next to the like where you guys come out of the tunnel. If you guys score on that side of the end zone, you won't miss me because I'm gonna stick out like a sore freaking thumb. Come get my sombrero. I'm gonna toss it to you, and you
All
wear
right.
that. You party with that thing on. All right. I'm
All right.
inviting you to that. Last year, we had a couple players do that. People and they loved it. But I want a big man to do it. So
Well,
that's
I'm
a
gonna be
personal
looking
invite
for
to
you. I'm
you.
gonna hold you to that. So when we
All right, all right.
score,
I'm in
I'm
the
looking
front
for
row.
you.
I'm in the. You
I'm
just come
looking
straight
for
to
you.
me.
Yeah, trust me, you won't be able to miss them. I promise.
No.
So, I've got to ask this because you do have a hometown connection here. You're going to be coming back to San Antonio. What are you looking forward to the most when you get back here?
Honestly, there's a barbecue spot right down the street.
He sound like me.
Where Smoke Shack.
Smoke.
I am
Oh, yeah,
looking
Smoke Shack.
forward to going and getting some Smoke Shack because they have this sandwich that's not on the menu. It's called the Mac Daddy sandwich, and it's got mac and cheese, pulled pork, sausage, and brisket.
Damn.
And
Oh
I think
my
that's
goodness.
the number one
This
thing that
man
I'm looking
eats like a
forward to.
lineman. I love
That's
it.
a calorie
It
burger.
is
A calorie
so good.
burger.
That's
So good.
that's
Then I
that's
always
dinner
get
for a
fries.
lineman.
Yep.
It's so good. Every time I'm in San Antonio, every time I go back, that's the very first place I go.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Well,
Oh, good.
there are quite a few
Oh,
good
yeah.
places to eat here in San Antonio. Obviously, Smoke Shack is one of them. There's a couple of others we'll get you hooked up with when you get down here, right? Because you've got calories that you're going to need to consume. That way you can keep your strength up. Okay, we got you covered, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a good burger spot. It's right off St. Mary's. I forgot the name of it, but I know where it's at. I just know where it's at off the top of my head. I just can't think of the name right now. But they have like these really good like stuffed burgers with cheese in the side. Oh, they're so good, so good.
Well, so there is another place. I'm going to do a shameless plug, but there is another place that's right over by the Alamo Dome. It's Mark's Outing. It used to be called Fatty's Burgers.
That's actually what I got right here.
Boom!
Stop it.
My man. Those
Oh,
are
but
some.
he needs to know about the hot dogs first. I mean,
Well, but that's for the after show. So,
The Glizzy.
Hey.
Are you a fan of Glizzy's?
I would if it's a good glizzy, I will eat a good glizzy. I will.
Nah, man.
If it's these glizzies are 9 inches long,
Hey,
thick,
dog.
and juicy.
Oh.
And they're right south of downtown. It's called El Chunky. I
Hey,
highly
man.
recommend it.
Y'all
Go
dangerous,
get yourself
man.
some 9 inches long. And if you like corn dogs, they're also 9 inches long, but those bastards are girthy. They're like this big.
I'm not
So
lying.
No way.
and
I totally went
that's
there.
why we saved this talk for the after show. So,
Oh my
There's some
lord.
tasty-
it gets out of hand quickly. Pun fully
Don't listen
intended.
to nothing he say unless it involves the Bombers. Anything
Oh,
after
my
that, don't
gosh.
listen to nothing he say.
Yeah. So,
Oh man, that was good. That was good.
but yeah,
So have you been able to play in the Alamo Dome at all before? Or this will be like your first time actually like stepping on the field and like what?
See, the only thing that we've done in the Alamo Dome is we did have like pregame stuff in the Alamo Dome, but I've never been actually been able to play in the Alamo Dome. So I am looking forward to that because I was able to go to the Texas State UTSA game.
Oh, it gets
I
loud.
believe it was around. Yeah, and it was really nice. Yeah, it was nice. It was really good because some of our old staff at UIW went to Texas State, and then UTSA, that connection there, being in San Antonio. So it was a great game, and but yeah, that was a great experience. And the whole time I'm like, wow, like I'm about to be playing in the dome, you know, in a few months. Like this is gonna be dope. Like, and that's really what I was thinking the whole time. But yeah, I'm super excited and looking forward to that. That's gonna be really fun.
I think don't Lindsey Scott Jr. coach at Texas State? I think so.
Yeah, he did, and he's with the Roughnecks now too.
I
So
know
that's
the
gonna be a
quarterback.
fun
Yeah.
game.
Did you play with Lindsey
Yeah.
Scott?
I wasn't. I was able to play against Lindsey, and I used to tackle Lindsey a lot. So we've
Good.
always had.
Oh
that,
yeah, that's
that
good. But he's gonna be
there.
playing on the offensive line, so
Yeah. So he's on offense now. So now it's a little bit different. But that was the first thing. I saw him after the game. I hugged him and stuff. I was like, yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to whooping y'all's ass. Next season.
let's
Like,
go.
oh, yeah.
I
love
love
it.
it.
So
It's already
I had-
trash
you know,
talking.
I had to leave him with that cliffhanger before I exited San Antonio. So
I don't know,
really looking
man.
forward to that. But yeah, that's my boy, man. I wish him all the best luck. He's a great player. He's even greater of a person. So really looking forward, seeing him and seeing his success in the XFL as well. Just except, when we play him and stuff. But other than that, he's a great guy.
I mean, even if you're on offense, you can still technically I mean, you might get ejected, but I mean,
What the? How you gonna do that? Just run on the sideline, look for him, and just
oops.
yeah. Even though I wanted him in San Antonio, man, that's crazy. He was crazy, man. He was going crazy in college.
Oh yeah, man. He was putting up phenomenal numbers. Like 70 plus touchdowns is absolutely nuts. I don't care what level you play on. That's
Facts.
hard to
Yeah.
do. Like that's incredible. And like I think he'll have a record at UIW for a very long time. So yeah, he's a great player, but he's even greater of a person, But I just remember those games, we used to play against him when he was at Nichols, and so they were always
Nichols,
like a
yeah.
big rivalry of ours. And but yeah, it was just fun, being able to see him and just see his success and just seeing how much he's grown and doing good. And now he's learning, the other side of things, the coaching part of the ball, which I think is like super smart for him to do. That was a great move for him. So I think it's going to help him out. It's going to be tremendous for him in the league.
Excellent.
Now-
Sorry for the awkward pause there.
With
It's all good.
now,
Because he
Samuel,
reading.
The human glitch, all of us together.
you mentioned that you went to the UTSA Texas State game. I was also at that game. Is there anybody on either one of those teams that you hope to see come over and play with you on the Brahmas next season?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, I would love to see Chance Mann. That's like one of my guys.
That's my guy.
I feel like he'll end up going to the league, but I would love to see him play. He's a great guy. He's a great teammate. He's a great player as well.
I don't know why he
that's
transferred,
one of my
man.
guys. Yeah, man.
He was
things
at CU.
happen, man. I don't know either, but hey, man, but he is a great guy, and I hope I wish him like all the success, and I hope he could just go straight to the league, and that happened for him. But if things don't work out, I would love to see him play, and I'd love to be able to play with him again, and, go against him every day. That'd be fun too. So, but that is one person I do wish like tremendous amount of success on, and I would love to see him blossom in the league as well. He's one guy that just comes to my mind off the top of my head.
You want to play with Frank Harris?
Who?
Frank Harris?
Frank Harris? Hey, that would be dope. He's a good quarterback.
Agent Zero.
I'm excited to see how his career pans out. But yeah, he's a guy that I've always been kind of trying to keep up with for like the last year or two. He's a great quarterback. He's a great person as well. But yeah, he's a really good player. I'd love to see him in the league too. That'd be dope. That'd be really dope.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's one that he's kind of what peaked. I didn't go to UTSA myself, but I got on the meat bandwagon. Was it like last year, 2 years ago? And I was like, oh, this team's legit. And I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like. I went to a D2 school, so I don't really have a D1 school other than Utah that I went to for like 2 weeks that I cheer for. But outside of that, I was like, I need someone local. So UTSA is my school.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I wish them a better season. What are they, 2 right now?
Yeah, they're 1-2.
1-2. So hopefully they they can pick back things up, because I think conference play starts this week. So I hope they can pick things back up and end up pretty good at conference play. That'd be pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
So we got a good question here from one of the watchers. Is do you have any interesting pregame rituals or traditions that you like to do, whether by yourself or with the line, with the team, anything like that?
For myself, ever since I've got in college, I'm a spiritual guy, so I always pray. I always pray before a game. Pray for everybody, play. My teammates, my family, the refs, everybody watching. Just everybody involved in it. So that's one thing I always like to do. The next thing I would say is I do take like a big dump before the game. Like I have to. You got to just get everything out. That's one thing.
That is a lineman answer right there. Yep.
Hey, so I gotta do that.
Hey,
No,
ain't no
I-
way
I
he
knew
just
what I
said that on here.
Oh, he did.
Ain't no
I
way
totally-
he did. Ain't no
I
I
way.
love
totally
the
get it.
honesty.
I tried to
I
just
totally
slip it right
get it.
past y'all.
What
like,
the hell, Heinz Ward?
Bro, no, I
So just like get everything out, just completely prepare my body.
This man
for
said
battle.
take a big dump.
Nice, light, and fast.
no, I totally get it because I used to have a teammate that would throw up before every game, and there was a couple
Yeah.
games where he didn't have to throw up, and we're like, "Nah, asshole, you're throwing up," and we made him throw up on the field one time in the end zone, and so we played a whole game with a little corner full of my buddy's throw up. So like I get it, like you got to empty the bowels, man. Like, and if you don't, like people are gonna like if you do it and people don't see you doing it, they're like, no, go, like, like my son, go to the potty, mother.
Yeah. So that's definitely one thing I do. And then the last thing is I just have like this playlist of nothing but NBA Youngboy, and I listen to it like on repeat over and over and over again before the game starts. And it just puts me in this space of like complete like domination. Like I just like I almost like ready to just die out there before I go. You know what I'm saying? Like really just
What's your
ready
go-to
to, like,
song?
completely- There's an old NBA Youngboy.
Oh, I ain't
Old
go that far
NBA
back.
Youngboy
I don't
song,
know.
and it's called I believe one is called that I play graffiti before I go out there. I play Dreams, and then there's another really old song. It's called Range Rover by NBA Youngboy. Like I think it's on like an old mixtape, like not even on like an album. But I always play. That's
Write
the
it
last
down.
song I play before I go
You don't
out.
play Nevada?
Nah, it's too like it's laid
It's too-
back. You know what I'm saying?
What about-
So I gotta have something like on
What
go.
about
Like,
Toxic
you know what
Punk?
I'm saying? Like as soon as I step out there, like I'm ready to like smash somebody. Like I gotta
Let's
have
go.
that old young boy.
You don't want
know?
to dance. You want to fight somebody.
You want to rumble?
Like I'm ready to like punch somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta have
Oh,
that
yeah.
old young boy, the young boy when he was trying to make it to the top. He was hungry. I gotta have that young boy.
You listen to Toxic Punk?
Nah, not really. I've listened to a little bit of
It's
it.
a
Some
song, Toxic Punk. Well, I'm
Oh,
saying,
that's
let's put
nah,
that
I
in put that in your
haven't
rotation.
I will. I'll put that in there.
It's a slow jam. He
You
likes
from?
it.
Wait, where you from?
I'm from a super small town, but it's in Huntsville, Texas. So I went to high school out here, and then I'm from a
Okay.
small town outside of Huntsville. It's called Beat Eyes. You'll probably never hear of it ever again in your life. But super small town, maybe 500, 600 people out here. We got $2 stores, that's it. But yeah, so I'm from a
Nice.
really, really small town. Yeah.
What's
so,
the biggest city that's close to you?
Huntsville.
Houston. So I would say Houston. It's about
Houston?
45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes from Huntsville.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you close to Houston? That ain't bad. It ain't like you was in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah. So that's where I was training at. That's where my facility is in Spring. So in the morning, I just wake up and I drive to Spring in the morning down 45, and I train down there. So I'm in Houston more than anything for the most part. That's where I spend the majority of my time at.
Don't
Hold on,
let
let me
those
ask you this,
roughnecks
though.
steal you away.
I about to
Yeah.
say, was you a Roughnecks fan before? You know?
I wasn't a Roughnecks fan, but I do remember when I was at the showcase. It was what is their head coach name?
Wade
Phillips?
God, Wade
Wade
Phillips.
Phillips.
Wade
Grandpa
Phillips was
Phillips.
staring at me for the longest
Staring at you like
time.
how?
It was like
Right.
he was like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, so you were still? You saying you were still?
Yeah, like he looks good. He was like, oh, he looks good, and I know I was looking good because I was killing the drill. And so
you
he
got to
was looking at
steal.
me the whole time. Yeah, and then it was crazy.
Don't let
Are
them
you
steal you
sure?
away.
Well,
Nah. But
I'm
I
sure
do remember that.
I'm sure it was because of your talent, but I'm also wondering if it wasn't because of the cataracts in his eyes,
Oh
kind of
my
glazing him over
God.
because he's like 1,000 years old.
Hey, man.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Whatever you do, though, don't go to Arlington unless you want to have like a miserable time in the league. Don't. I mean, yeah, I know you're gonna be based there, but don't play for the team there because nobody likes them.
Hey,
So
when we suit up on game day, it's everybody versus Texas. I don't know what they be talking about. They like Houston and
That's
like Arlington, all this. No.
No.
I don't
No.
mind Houston. I don't
Yeah.
like Arlington.
I
That's
take-
it.
right there. That is a perfect synopsis of what SAJ does. I'll take shots at teams, but my focus is on St. Louis. Okay, because to be the best, you got to beat the best.
They're not
St.
the
Louis-
best.
But they technically
St.
not
Louis
the best.
had the best numbers.
They
in
technically
fans.
they not the
When it
best.
comes to the fans, he's talking about.
When it
Maybe
comes
to
not
the
game,
fans.
not the
Okay.
X's and O's.
When it comes to the team, nobody had a better team than San Antonio, and we're proving it with the talent that we're getting right here, right next to me. Okay, nobody beats San Antonio,
Oh,
but we got to get those
That's
numbers
hard.
up. We need to be the absolute number one best fan base, and don't mind the blue chicken that just said whatever his little war cry is.
Baka.
He left a little mess on the floor. He needs to clean that up.
Cacao
And his
is
little bird cage
that's the sign
Okay.
of like, hey, we need to go take a dump.
A caquita. That's what you do before your game.
Week one says you got lucky. Beaver down. Okay, that's what that says. All right.
Down.
Beaver down.
So, but
we
I know
play. It's all in fun.
You know, you mentioned you didn't catch any of the XFL games last season, but one of the most heartbreaking things that we saw was with the new rule changes that the XFL has implemented.
Game one.
So this is a case of, it's week one. People are still thinking either NFL or college rules, not XFL rules. And you have the rule of when, under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, instead of doing an onside kick, you can go for a 4th and 15, keep the ball. Well, St. Louis did that. They pulled it off, and they were down by 2 touchdowns or 2 scores.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting the 4th and 15 conversion, and they came back and won the game in under 2 minutes after we had been beating them the entire game in the Alamo Dome. So there's a little bit of a chip on our shoulder when it comes to St. Louis because that was a wake-up call to the new rule. Like the XFL works a little bit differently when it comes to the rules. So just a heads up, be ready.
Yep.
Most definitely. I have to be on the lookout for that. We can't let that happen. That's always one of the most heartbreaking things. Like especially when you're up all game and then the team comes back at that last minute just to sneak in that win. Oh man!
And the thing is like a lot of the St. Louis fans that traveled down for the game, they had already left because they're like, we lost this game, and then they tell us after the game, we got a notification on our phone. Oh, we won? What? We missed it, and I'm just like, man, screw you guys.
Yeah, man, it's always the worst. Oh man.
Did you know anything about the XFL before you came and tried out?
Yeah, so I knew a little bit about it. I've just watched, kind of guys go to the XFL and be successful and then, have careers in the NFL. So I have kind of kept up with the XFL and the whole league, especially because I knew there was kind of going to be one of those things that I was probably going to have to encounter, knowing that I was playing offensive line and I don't have any film. That's the number one thing teams look for is 80% film evaluation, and then 20% are intangibles, height, weight, speed, strength, stuff like that. And so when an NFL team's looking at you, the first thing they're going to cut on is your film. What are you doing on tape? How good are you on tape? There's other things we can fix it, but what do you look like as a player? And for my case, I didn't have any film at the time, but the film that I had in Mexico, and people weren't even able to access that because it was crazy because you had to have a different IP address and stuff like that in order to access the film because it's in Mexico.
VHS down there.
Whole bunch of complications with that, and plus I was a lot lighter. I didn't have any training, so I didn't have any film offensive line. So I knew that was one thing that I was gonna have to encounter, going in and having aspirations of playing in the NFL. So I did start to keep up with it, and I did, kind of just ask guys who I knew that were in the league and about their successes and about their journey and just how it's worked for them. So I do have a little background with the XFL, and then I was also just like saw when Dwayne the Rock, he bought it and everything, and he took over, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And I thought like that is what the league needs. They need somebody like that with like the high publicity, the money to put into it, and everything. And so I just thought it was super dope. And I think it's just a great opportunity. Like it really is the league of opportunity. So I just think it's like super dope for people, man. Like just give people chances. Like people like in situations like myself, like like want to switch positions, but like maybe did it at a late time, but know that they can play at a high level. They just need a platform to do it on. So I just think it truly is an amazing, and it really is the league of opportunity.
100%, absolutely, and obviously you probably already know this. San Antonio being such a community oriented city, we're all about family and just sticking together. So with that being said, should your family do you have family in or near San Antonio?
I don't have family near San Antonio, but I do have family that they travel down to see my games in San Antonio.
Okay. Well, I if any of your family ever comes to, which I'm sure it sounds like it sounds like they will, but when they come to San Antonio, you send them to Lot B, the tailgate. Tell them to look for the sombrero, and we take care of them. Free beer, free food.
Free entertainment.
We make free. Yeah. We take care of the players' families. So you make sure to tell them like they have a home to go to if they want to hang out before the game. They got free food and free beer waiting for them. So we welcome them with open arms.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. I would definitely tell my family. I'm sure my grandpa would love to come over there and have a few brews before the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I make some pretty mean street tacos too.
Come on,
yeah.
So
they be fine. They be fine.
Oh yeah, that's dope. That's dope. That's another spot. I need another good taco spot in San Antonio. I do.
I feel like the food trucks got the best food.
They do. Yeah, they do. I haven't found one that's like, I would say consistent, but when I mean consistent, I mean like in the same spot, the same time. Like they move around a lot, so it's like I'll find one. I'm like, oh, this is so good, and then I'll go there like a day or two later, and they're gone. And so I'm like, man.
So keep this one in mind. Then San Taco. It's in downtown. It's just north of downtown. They make some of the best Mexican food, including tacos, that I've had in San Antonio. It's authentic. So that's the one I would recommend you is San Taco. And it's a brick and mortar spot, so they ain't gonna move around. So definitely check them out when you're here.
Where's that, downtown?
Yeah, I mean it's just down the street from my house, so which is downtown. So
Taco. Okay.
So Blaine, let me ask you, as a player coming up through the ranks and everything like that, I'm sure you've been through a lot of evaluations and stuff like that. But how much different was it for you going through the player combine and everything that you attended in Houston versus like some of your other experiences, kind of giving an opportunity to showcase yourself? How much different was that experience for you?
Yeah, so the way the XFL does their combine, I think is probably the best that I've ever been a part of any workout whatsoever, because the things that they measure is like they use a lot of modern technology. Like for one, when you go do a pro day or people go to the NFL combine, things like that, everybody runs a 40. How many times do you see an O lineman run a 40? Like, when has an O lineman ever run a 40?
Right there.
And so what the XFL does is they in the showcases we ran the 20 yards. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Like on times you may see a lineman run 20 yards, but you're never gonna see a lineman running 40 yards down the field unless something crazy happens, or like you have a really slow running back, or like something like that. So you're never going to see an O lineman do that. But they measured like a lot of things. Like they measured grip strength, like how strong your hands are, you know, and that correlates to, you know, like when you grab somebody, you can latch on, and how hard are you going to latch on. They measure how much, instead of measuring how many times you can press 225 off your chest, they measure the bar speed. How many pounds are you pushing off your chest? How much, like, and that correlation, you know, can you push a guy off you that's coming at you? You know what I'm saying? And so I think some of the things that they measured at the combine was a lot more modern technology. They used catapults. They did things the right way that really honed in on like what type of athlete you are. Because like I know guys that can push 225 off their chest 30 pounds. Or I mean, not 30 pounds, 30 times, and you know they're not much of an athlete. You're like they're not good. Like that doesn't.
They're strong,
You're never gonna push 225, 20 to 30 times. You know what I'm saying? In a game, like that's not gonna happen. So what they did at the combine was, I think they put on 275. They put a bar speed measure, and it measured how fast you were able to push the bar up and how many pounds of force that was able to come through that, and then I think it was just great. They did
That's
things
incredible.
with the force plate that measured, you know, like how fast your muscle twitches are, like how fast you can jump up, how high you can jump up, things like that. Like they did so many things. It was just amazing. And then they had everything like super organized. They warmed you up correctly. You know, you're ready to go. It was just dope. And I think the NFL should adopt some of those rules within their combine training. And I think it would give them a great evaluation on a player rather than the old traditional combine drills, because I think you can kind of get a good idea of, you know, what a player is through the old combine drills, but like I think you can get a better idea of what an athlete and what a player is through these combine drills, because it's more of like game specific and like I would say like honing in on what exactly are you trying to measure? You know, like you can't measure how many pounds somebody's pushing off their chest by doing 225, 20 or 30 times, but you can measure the bar speed and see how hard somebody's striking somebody's chest. You know what I'm saying? So I think the XFL did a phenomenal job with the combine. I think that was like one of the best workouts I've ever been put through, and it truly was. They measured everything. They put you through realistic drills, and like everything that they did correlated to the game of playing football. So it was absolutely great. It was an amazing experience, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. I had a great time in Arlington, and you know, it was dope. And I'm so happy that like they're more focused on like the technology and just, you know, like furthering football in that aspect.
That's awesome, man. So NFL, you heard it, okay? The old ways are done.
Bill Belichick, I mean, has been speaking volumes about, you know, everything that the XFL's been doing.
Coach Tomlin too.
Coach Tomlin as well. And so I think, you know, taking notice of that kind of stuff is good. And quick disclaimer, even though Blaine said that he had a great time in Arlington, the Renegades still suck. Just had to put that out there.
I knew it. I
knew that was coming. Yeah, I knew it.
That's the only time you can have fun in Arlington is at a combine.
Yep.
That's right.
Just to go to another team. That's why.
Oh my goodness.
So, I just had an incredible question and I just lost it.
Oh my goodness.
That's the old age, man.
Yep. See, the old ways suck, NFL. Right? We're out. Right. Let's let the young bucks take over here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a really great time in Arlington. I really enjoyed it, and then I'm just looking forward. I think the NFL will like start to adopt some of the things. Like, I'm honestly interested in seeing how the kickoff plays out, because that's been a big
100%.
Controversy.
Thank you.
Big controversy of you know, like the NFL kickoff and like how high the injury rates are on that and stuff like that. So I think a lot of teams are starting to take notice and you know, kind of want to adopt some of the things, because the NFL is always a copycat league. You know, like one guy does something, then they start to transpire and do other things, like, you know, like as far as like play call and stuff like that. So hopefully that becomes a part of something that they copycat, is the kickoff aspect, the drills, the combine aspect of it, and just, you know, further revolutionize football, you know, because, you know, football, it changes every year. So just, you know, keeping up with the curve. And I think that's something that the NFL would definitely benefit from, you know. keeping injuries down, keeping more players on the field. I think that would definitely benefit the NFL.
And it's interesting you say that because I think this is the first year that I saw them use in training camp those padded covers over the helmets, and they said that drastically improved people's head injuries during training camp. Like it just you didn't see it, like you would in the past, and so that's the kind of stuff that more like you said, more innovation, the better. And if they can take it from a league like the XFL or one of the spring football leagues, then hey, why not? It'd be open arms, open eyes, open minds. Go for it.
Absolutely. And then we actually use those padded helmets kind of at UIW. And everybody kind of was like how the guys were in the league, like what is this? But like when you actually sit down and like break down the film and like look how much our hats are hitting each other, like it really did help a lot. And I did notice like a lot of guys didn't have as many like headaches and like stuff like that after practice, and like it just those really helped because it absorbed a lot of that contact through those padded. And then so that really is a great innovation, and it does help prevent injuries and just head injuries, neck injuries, and everything like that because it absorbs so much contact. I can remember one time I was watching a play and I had to kind of like go in the B gap, and so the offensive tackle and the offensive guard, they kind of double team me, came in, and I came in and hit the crease, and it was like all three of our heads just hit at the same time. We had all the pads on. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that like really happened versus if we probably wouldn't have had this pads on, we all probably would have felt that. But yeah, it's just super dope, to kind of just see how the league is just being revolutionized and just like innovative and just, just keep on going. So,
oh yeah. No, there was, I actually got to see a helmet that was worn in a game, a game worn helmet from an offensive lineman, and it was from a previous team that was here, and you could see like the deep gouge marks in the helmet from the helmet to helmet collision, right? And the glancing blows and all that stuff, and it's like, man, that little bit of material and the padding inside is all that's protecting your head. Like that's pretty damn scary. So I'm glad that this technology has come out that people's, I don't know where that noise was coming from. Hopefully it wasn't my house.
That's little man.
Oh, okay.
Little man stealing the chips while I can't do anything about it.
Well, that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But just the fact that the NFL and all football organizations are starting to take you guys' health that seriously, that innovations are coming out that are going to protect you guys and protect you from brain injuries and lifelong or life altering injuries like that's just incredible. So good stuff to them.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
All right, well, again, we are so excited to have had you on the show tonight. We're so thankful you took time out of your schedule to come visit us and meet some of the fans that are going to be cheering you on and saying some really nasty things to some of the opponents. That would be me. I won't curse, but I'm not going to say nice things like Wade Phillips.
Only because security told you not to.
100% true story. That really did happen. So, but that's a story for another time. But again, we definitely want to thank you for coming on the show tonight and taking time out. Anything you'd like to say to the fan base? Shout out for your social medias or anything like that before we switch over and do some sponsorships and pay some bills real quick?
Absolutely, man. If y'all like to me, I can follow me on the gram at THEHOOV_. So yeah, so give me a shout out. Follow me on the gram. I'm a little bit more active than I was, during pro day and stuff. I'm not a ghost no more, but thank y'all. I want to thank y'all, man, for having me on here and
of course,
inviting me in, treating me like family. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to get down there and get to work. Thank you to all the fans, and I'm looking forward to having a great season. We're all looking forward to, having a great season and pushing things forward and competing for a championship. So
competing or winning the championship, sir.
Winning a championship.
There you go. Thank you.
100%.
You heard it, St. Louis. I'm just saying. All right. Well, again, Mr. Hoover, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you want, we're going to put you in the backstage, hang loose. We actually do have an after show. We joked about it, but we really do. And that's the one where it's like no holds barred and
Raw and
adult talk
unfiltered.
and 9 inches. And
No obligation
You don't
at all.
you don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Or-
Obligation.
you don't want to be a part of that.
if you would like to save a little bit, you're more than welcome to check out also. But we do have to pay some bills, so we got to do some shout outs and some sponsorship stuff and all that good stuff. So,
But before you go, just remember, tell your family, look for the sombrero in lot B. I'll make sure that's taken care of. And then when you're on the field, look for the sombrero and come get it.
yep.
I'm coming to get the sombrero.
There you
I'm
go.
coming to get it after we score. I'm coming to get it. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you,
All
sir. Okay, Jackie,
What?
take it away.
I literally have to, he always does this to me. Look, I just got back from vacation. You can't put stuff on me like this, okay?
Yeah,
I mean, I can. I just
I'll,
did.
I'll do it. if you want.
Save me from like the very, very end. I mean, we've got some.
Oh, the
interesting
very,
things, you know.
very. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jorge, take it away.
Yeah. Now I don't have the flyer pulled up on my computer, but I do have it here on my phone. But as a reminder to all the Brahmas fans out there, we do have a trunk or treat that we will be participating in October 26th. That is a Thursday. Oh, there you go. Awesome. There you go. October 26th at Josabi's Acres in Helotes. It's being held by an organization called Kinetic Kids, which is an organization that it's an athletic league for children with disabilities. And my son's a part of it, and it's a great organization to be a part of, and just to be out there. I know a lot of the kids in that program are Brahmas fans. They go to the games, so to be able to show that we the fans support them just like they support the team. It's a win-win for everybody. So hopefully you can make it out. Wear your horns, wear your costume, whatever you want. It's all about the kids. More details to come.
I promise I'll have it up. Oh yeah, definitely costumes. Oh, are you saying there may be an unveiling of some new costumes?
There might be 2. We'll see.
Oh.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention, because I've been seeing it in the chat all night.
All the rumors.
Let's talk about
Chatty Patties, the Chatty Patties.
Chatty
Let's
Chatty
talk.
Cathy's.
I don't want to give this too much attention or too much focus. But obviously we've all heard by now the USFL and the XFL have been in talks to do mergers. How long have they been in talks? We don't know. All we know is rumors and speculations. There's been one statement by one league that has been put out. That is the XFL saying we do not comment on rumors and speculation. And then the USFL probably forgot to pay their phone bill, and they did they didn't respond to their request for comment. So with that being said, no matter
podcast, no comment.
No matter who you get, who's the source, #, no matter what outlet is reporting it, at the end of the day, until you hear something from either the XFL, the USFL, or both, take it with a grain of salt. It is rumors and speculation only until the league has confirmed what is going on. So everything talking about
get all riled up too.
Like everything talking about Houston's losing the Roughnecks and they're going to get the Gamblers. Look, just because you saw it on Facebook doesn't make it true. All right. So
said Abe Lincoln.
Like that, just take it, like I said, with a grain of salt. It is all just rumors and speculation at this point. No matter who the source is, no matter how reliable they've been in the past, no matter if it's NBC Sports and Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk talking about it. Unless you hear it
from BD,
unless you hear it from Moose Johnson, Danny Garcia, Jerry Cardinal, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it is rumors and speculation.
Yep.
That's it. Like,
Right.
take it as that and nothing else.
Right.
Yes, it's fun to talk about. Yes, hey, what if this happens? What are we, how many times are we going to send the Vegas Vipers to San Diego? I don't know. But again, it's all rumors and speculation. Leave it at that. We don't know how long they've been talking. We don't know anything. All we can do is speculate, but nothing is for certain. And I want you guys to know that, because nobody other than the league executives know. And unless you work for either league, you don't know either.
Right. And I would like to expound on what Jorge just said right there. And this is a little bit pointed, a little bit directed, but to the fan base, let's stick together and show our solidarity for our fellow brothers and sisters in the league and even across the aisle if we need to. Let's not spread these rumors. Let's not start talking about things that we really don't know anything about. Okay. That's the pointed part for people that are specifically saying things that they know they're not getting from sources that they're making up in the backs of their minds. Let's just let the league do what it does. Let's continue to support our fan bases. Let's continue to support each other. Let's help drive the business like we've been doing, right? This next season, even if they came out and made a decision tomorrow, nothing is going to change for this next season because plans are already in place for that. Okay. So let's embrace and enjoy what we have. Let's continue to build these relationships and take these fun jabs at each other and everything like that. Let the cards fall where they may, because the people that are the powers that be are going to be the ones that are going to be making the decisions at the end of the day. We're not going to have very much influence on that whatsoever. So let's enjoy what we have. Let's have fun with what we have. Let's not spread rumors about stuff we don't know anything about. And let's just see what happens, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, and there's three things that we know for certain are true. One, there is going to be a season 2 of the XFL. All right. That includes the promise. All right. And then the second thing is the Vegas Vipers will still, as of right now, will still exist. They will not be playing at Cashman Field, but they will still exist in some way, shape, or form. Where they will play, that is to be determined. And number 3, Arlington is still garbage. That hasn't changed either. So those are the 3 facts that we know right now. And just go with that.
Oh, DJ, look at this.
I ain't paying no attention to that man. Cyborg glasses.
Hey man, those are the best knockoff Oakleys. $29 could buy, man. Come on.
$29. You got ripped off.
You got ripped
You got
off.
a five below.
Five at best.
Marbach.
Marbach has a 5 below.
Ripping you off.
Apparently mine was the 5 above.
Yeah, for real. Well, it's nice to say we're leaving off. It's 9 o'clock now. Yeah, they did.
It's South Oklahoma, BD.
Yeah, duh. But that kind of brings me to next week. We are going to pick up. We're going to be finally into October. We're going to finally end our XFL fans series. But we're going to bring another one on next week where the one fan we can find in Vegas, he's still holding it down for his team. Jersey will be on next week. So we can talk to him about all things Vegas. The Fang Gang. He also has his podcast too that's still representing the Vegas Vipers. So y'all make sure to check him out. Go like him. But he will be on next week also. So we'll be able to talk to him about all things Vegas and hopefully show our support for Vegas.
Yes. Even though they don't currently have a home work.
We can still support them in some way.
Kumbaya.
That's us all holding hands and swaying back together.
Give me your hand, DJ.
Let's pray. Let's pray.
Let us pray. Dearly beloved, let us pray.
Oh,
They about to be out of there.
Okay. All kidding aside, we are definitely pulling for all the teams in the XFL to get deals worked out, to get everything figured out, right? Leave the rumors for the rumor mill. What we do know is what I already said. There will be a season 2. All the teams will be there. Not sure where all of them are going to be playing, but we will have a season 2, and it's going to be phenomenal. And San Antonio will be taking home the win. That's the other fact that you forgot, Jorge, but it's okay, right? In the meantime,
I forgot to mention Arlington sucks.
Oh, shit.
yeah, I figured that was beat to death already, so I just moved on.
Oh, I'm gonna keep beating it to death.
Wow.
It's eventually going to become like some kind of a crime or something. But that's
Just
okay.
make sure you use
It's
protection, man.
Damn. Speaking of protection,
I go raw.
Wow.
on that comment, why don't we get ready to kick it over for a little bit of brown chicken, brown cow?
I'm gonna end this stream now before y'all get too wild.
Well, let's end it off like we always do, because it's been a while since we've done this. But everybody, y'all have a good Friday night. Join us over on the Only Horns channel on YouTube.
Raw